Thank you very much. Hi, all of you. My theme is verbal aspect problems and the aspect of the Kazakh language. Practically, the title has two problems, a set of problems. Initially, I prepared three reasons confirming that the existence of the Kazakh aspect in Kazakh language, and the three subjective reasons which deny that the Kazakh language has the category of aspect. Because it is only 20 minutes, probably I'll tell about only the first three reasons of which confirm that the Kazakh language has the category of aspect. The category aspect is considered to be the most difficult and the most vague language phenomena in linguistics in general and grammar in particular. The difficulty is that the aspect theory, some languages are considered to be temporal or aspectual, and some languages are considered to be only temporal. What does it mean? It means that the verb semium of these languages don't generate the aspect theory. It is the first thing. The second thing, probably the speakers of this language, which have no the aspect category, have no the plane of content of this phenomena. The third thing is that probably they have the means of expression of it. But the Kazakh language is considered also as temporal. It means that the Kazakh language has no aspect theory. That is why practically the aspect theory is absent in the content of textbooks which devoted especially to the verb morphology. I should like to say that Kazakh language has the category of aspect. I should like to prove it. The first thing is, in order to have the aspect theory, all languages should have a verb, the parts of speech verb, with 6 categories, including the aspect theory. The second is the plane of content. The third is the plane of expression. The first, I said that to have the category of the verb, that each language should have a verb should have all these 6 categories. The first category is aspect, expresses modification or transformation of action, types of inner development. Tense expresses location of the action in the timeline. Voice expresses the agent of the action voice expresses the agent of action, subject or object, by whom the action is performed. Mood expresses the relation of the action to reality. The last 2 number on the person shows by whom actions are performed, namely by whom and how many people. And all these, the main peculiarities of these categories is that each of them has its discrete, separate, autonomous meaning. They never interfere in the meaning of each other, they never don't overlap in meaning, and they never participate in creation of the meaning of other category. The interesting question is, how does a verb express these 6 category meanings, by 6 verbs or by 1 verb? The second question is, does each category keep its own separate meaning while express it externally? Let's see. The plane of expression of the aspect are synthetical and the analytical, especially in Kazakh language. In spite of that, this language is considered to be only temporal. Now, there are given three languages: synthetical Kazakh, synthetical Russian, and the analytical English. And there are given the predicate of these languages, the same one verb, practically 3 verbs with the same meaning. Why the predicate? Because you see that predicate now, all these categories, they express their category meanings only in syntactical semantics. And there are so many discussions that aspect theory it is a linguistic category. Some of them said that it's a grammar, some of them morphology, but only in the category, all the categories of all the parts of speech, they manifest themselves only in the semantics, syntax semantics. And let's analyze these meanings of these 6 categories. How do they express their meanings in you see that Jazade writes pictured in a single continuum of expression. For example, aspect, the fact writes tense present, voice active, mood indicative, number singular, person third. And all of these things are included in one single of continuum, and they manifest themselves simultaneously. It is synthetical way. The second is analytical way. Again, it is, oh, yes. Here I should like to show you the categorical meanings are distributed. The root morpheme has aspect mood voice. This infix A, tense, and the postfix person and the number. The functions of 6 functions are distributed in this single continuum of expression. Next is, it is analytical way. And again, Kazakh, English, Russian, aspect process, tense past, voice active, mood indicative, number plural, person 2. Again, in this single of continuum, in spite of that there are two, it is so interesting that Kazakh and English, they have the analytical format of expressing of it, and the Russian synthetical. And the Russian language give this thing with the help of infix. And the distribution of these 6 categories are in such a way. Kazakh language, gerund, second auxiliary verb, and the third agglutination. If we compare with the English verb, the English aspect of expression, auxiliary verb, participle 1, we have the gerund, here participle, auxiliary verb without agglutination. The Kazakh language has agglutination. And again, here you see that root morpheme has 3 categories, meaning aspect, mood, voice, and auxiliary verb has missing category meaning is tense, person, and the number. The same way in the English language. Next is. Aspect as a grammatical category was not represented in the Turkic languages. Turkic and the verbs in combination with various auxiliary verbs express aspect classes, and they have lexical character. Aspect classes are kind of fragmentary aspects. It is given in order to give you that these opinions, such opinions also influence to the conclusions that the Kazakh language has no, not only the Kazakh language, all Turkic languages have no the category of aspect. And we came to the conclusion that each category keeps its own discrete meaning in single continuum of expression. A verb expresses all category meanings simultaneously. If the category meanings are expressed simultaneously, they have no the separate plane of expression. Can we say that some languages are aspectual and some languages are temporal? The third item is the plane of content. Probably Kazakh language has no the plane of content. That is why we say that we have no the plane, the category of aspect. What is the plane of content? Each notion, in order to be a notion, should have the plane of content and the plane of expression. Plane of content consists of concepts. Plane of expression, you see there are three denotations, kun, san, sonsa, in 3 languages. Concept, that is why is the primary, because it is the unit of thinking process. Language, it is secondary, it is a unit of language because there are different denotations of this word. I mean the concept, this concept, and you see san. Basis, plane of content is basis. It is constant, unchangeable. Why? Because I gave such a thing, conceptual identical feature characteristics, CIF-K. What does it mean? In spite of we pronounce differently, kun, san, и солнце, we all of us imagine that the worth, the sun, illuminates the earth, that the sun produces energy for everything which is necessary for everything, everybody in terrestrial life. And all of us know that the sun is so far from the earth, and we have the same form. When we say about the form, we say yellow and round. It means, for what I say all these things, in order to say that the plane of content for all countries, for all speakers are the same. And we have the same. Now let's see, what does it mean? The plane of content of the aspect category. First of all, we came to the conclusion that the plane of content of the aspect category is the same, universal for all people. And what is the aspect? It is aspects, the plane of expression. What is the plane of content? Transformation, modification of action, and the base of inner energy of action. They may be different. There are different types of inner development of an action. According to the traditional aspect theory, there are only two aspects: perfective, imperfective, or perfect, non-perfect. But you see that there are several, and each of them may be important each time. For example, if we analyze what does it mean aspect, I mean that the modification and the transformation of the action, let's take the plane of expression built, and you know the plane of content, what does it mean, and this verb usually combined with the word house. In order to make an action, we need some actions may be different. It is mental actions, emotional actions, physical actions. And here this action needs, first of all, human beings' intention, materials, finance, workers. If all these things are performed, provided, in that case, action may be divided into three: process, perfect, and effect. First of all, we begin, after that it finished, after that we say, yes, I built this house. If one of these, I mean that the conditions, especially the intention, materials, finance, intention we usually have, materials, finance, workers, in that case we have the additional per derivative with some results. For example, we have no materials and we stop this thing and we then restore this thing, and usually we have four types of aspects, division of the action. And these four divisions have the Kazakh language and the sub-aspects. The plane of expression of these aspects and the division of these actions in the language of the language may be Kazakh gerund, auxiliary verbs plus agglutination, and you say English and you say Russian. And the жазып жатыр, it means the first, it means that continuous aspect. It is process. Жазып болды, it is perfect or result aspect. Күні бойы жазып жатыр, perfect continuous or per derivative aspect. And the жазады, it is fact aspect. And all these things, all the language three give and they have the means of expression. Probably they different. But the main task of the language is to express everything which we have in our worldview. And we gave four types of actions, and the four types of actions are given with the help of different types of expression. I have no time, only 20 minutes, and that is why I'll give only the perfect aspect. It's not the perfect result, I mistake here, because it is more exact thing. I mean the denotation, if I say result, expresses a complete action. Process expresses a process action. Protracted or per derivative expresses a per derivative action. Fact expresses a habitual and holistic actions. Now, the plane of expression of these actions, now the plane of content, it is a plane of expression. And you see that the Kazakh language is given with the help of gerunds plus different auxiliary verbs, and each aspect has its own auxiliary verbs. And per duration, the Kazakh language has three analytical plane of expression and one synthetical. But in the Kazakh language, usually instead of verb, I wrote verb, they wrote gerund and the participle. I'll explain later. The plane of content, if we take only the result action, on the base of result action, I should like to show that this, what does it mean, aspect from the point of plane of content and from the point of plane of expression. Result, a complete action. Result, the plane of expression, you see gerunds and the auxiliary verbs. And the distribution of these, I mean that the distribution of this category meaning is in that form. Present result, and you see past result and the future result. Tense is a serving. The aspect is a dominant thing among these six, I mean the category meanings. You can find these things in our in the works of famous writers, and you see that сықып алған, алған, болдық, босап алған. It is an indicator of the result action. It is agglutination. Next is subaspects. What does it mean, subaspect? Subaspect is a further modification of the main aspects. If we take that result subaspects, the main four aspects has several sub-aspects. It is further development, further in a modification, or further transformation. For example, iterative result subaspect expresses repeated result actions. He has been twice in England. He is in Kazakh language. Olangda dekret bağırıp geldi. Multi-stage result action. Again, gives taxes result action. I found only 7. In order to say that seven, I came to the. I analyzed several thousand sentences in order to say that the result action has such semantical, functional field. Here is given how it is given. How it is the plane of expression. It is verb, and it becomes as a gerund. After that, here auxiliary verb is, and here indicator of this thing. The perfect aspect has no in the Kazakh language present tense. Now, I should like, it is the main objective reasons that we can say that, confirm that the Kazakh language has a category of aspect. There are 3 reasons that deny these things, but I have no time, only 4 minutes, and that is why I gave only one thing probably. The category of aspect does not exist in the verb root semantics in Turkic languages, the meaning of which is neutral to aspect. It is not. It is wrong thesis. You see why it is. I showed you. Did you remember that I said instead of verb in Kazakh language given gerund and the participle? Gerund and the participle. Now the main task of the verb is to express predicate. But Kazakh languages, in the Kazakh language, the predicates are considered to be expressed by gerund and participle. It is a wrong thesis because you know that the gerund, have verb and the adverb. It consists of the content of the gerund. It is the verb and the adverb, and from the verb has gerund inherit aspect, voice, mood. In order to be predicate, it should have 6 category meanings, and the adverb cannot give because it is non-process part of speech, and only analytically gerund may be as a predicate, because you see that auxiliary verb is tense person number gives the missing category meanings, and neutralize adverbs function because it is non-process, because predicate it is a process. In that case, we have for example, the Kazakh language, it is said, not the Kazakh linguistics probably, gerund has sal. Why do they came? They came to such conclusion? Because infixes e, a, r, they considered it is the infixes indicator of gerund, but at the same time it is indicator of the verb. And I said that gerund cannot express a predicate. And without it. And on the basis of it, that there are over 30 tenses in the Kazakh language. It is impossible to study the Kazakh language on the basis of the 30 tenses. Again, that. Synthetical languages, for example, Russian, the Kazakh language, they have such notion as prefix, suffix, infix, inflection. Let's see. Postfix. Kazakh language can express with the postfix the category aspect and the infix, but you see that they came to the conclusions. Infix, it is the indicator of e, indicator of the gerund. That is why they came to the conclusion. But I don't understand why they don't accept the postfix. Postfix also shows yes, all right. The infix, if you take the Russian infix, in that case, with the help of sound, changing of alteration of the sounds, the Russian language has perfective, imperfective. That is why in the aspect theory we have such notions perfective, imperfective on the base of Russian verbs решить, решать. But Kazakh language also has infix, but they came wrong, that we have no. But postfix, infix in Kazakh language also express a category of aspect. And the next thing is prefix, which on the base of wrong conclusion, it is artificially invented the Russian aspect. It is a modification of the aspect. You see that it is, first of all, on the base of prefixes, these prefixes belong to the indicator of word formation. All right, time is up. Time is up. It is so many problems, and I should like to say that Kazakh language has the category of aspect, and there are 4 types of aspects and the sub-aspects, and it is sometimes I am ashamed of Kazakh language because it has all sets of aspects and sub-aspects. So we say linguists, no, you have no aspect. I have never expected that we linguists are so creative people. Sometimes we complicate our lives by themselves.
All right, we got some time for questions. If anyone has them, please. Where's the thing, Dave? Where's the thing?
Hi, thank you. Hi, thank you so much. Can you please go back to your slide about the gerund?
Sure.
Like where you actually say that it has aspect, mood, and voice. Go up, yeah. This is good actually. So in another slide you said the gerund is oqib has aspect, mood, and voice.
Yes.
Okay, but how does that then change from present process to past process, and then to also to indicate an action? Because you can say жазып бітті. So you finished doing something, right? So that's like perfective.
It is combination of the gerund plus auxiliary verbs.
Okay, so, but that's what my question is, like, can you actually say that gerund has the aspect?
Yes. For example,
but you just said it's a combination.
No, that from verb inherited 3, verb has 6 categories, but the gerund has usually the non-finite from a verb they inherit only 3 things.
But then the non-finite kind of will not have.
Finite, yes.
So you use the same gerund, but then the aspectual side of it comes from the auxiliary verb,
yes,
doesn't it? Because you say жазып бітті, but then you say жазып жатыр, right?
Yes.
So you have their completely different aspects, right? They show different.
Yes, I understood. This differentiation will be on the base of different. I said auxiliary verbs, and Mileransky said that it is a past form, but it is not the past form. He was wrong because with the help of жатыр, it is now. I am writing. Жазып жатырмын қазір. Жазып біттім, это все давно. With the help of auxiliary verbs, we can organize a perfect result or continuous or process aspect.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly right. But I'm just not sure whether we can say then in that case that gerund includes aspect within itself. You see what I mean? That meaning is not carried by the gerund, I feel. And that's what you just said as well. It's a combination of the gerund, the participle of the gerund plus an auxiliary. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So like perhaps maybe gerund does not have the aspectual side of it in itself.
From the verb gerund that the participle they have only not tense and the person and the number.
Yeah.
And I should give for that example in order to explain you, because I have been working on non-finite about 3 years and about aspects about 10 years, and that is why I know what.
I know, but that's what you said here, and then what you just said now. They're slightly different.
Interesting thing that I took some linguists say that it is a past form, but at the same time it is with the help of auxiliary verb it gives the present tense. It means that in that case the linguists are wrong in that case explaining the state.
Right, okay, thanks.
Anyone else? Questions, comments?
I am waiting for interesting comments and questions.
If there's nothing else.
And your aspect, you are busy with studied aspect also.
Yeah.
So there were some forms, I'm not that familiar with Kazakh, but there were some forms that would have a verb root and then a vowel, and then like what I'm assuming is a person agreement marker like amin on the end of it. Could you show another one of those examples, I think? Or maybe this is one right here at the bottom here.
No,
Is
if
it
we take, for example, мен оқып жатырмын, сен оқып жатырсың. Вот жатыр остается, it is, ой, in Russian, it is left, only the changes the meaning, I mean that this part. First and the number.
So the vowel, just simply having that vowel after the auxiliary verb denotes future tense.
And here, the indicator of the futurity.
Interesting, that's cool.
Because infixes, with the help of infixes, the Kazakh language organized with the help of infixes, changing the infixes in auxiliary verbs, not in the main verb.
So
The main verb should be on constant form as gerund.
and when you say infix, you mean you're describing one of these, yeah, the ones that are in red there. Okay.
Any other questions?
I compiled in such a way that they wouldn't ask me questions.
All right, well, if there's nothing else, please join me in giving a round of